You're listening to the We Talk Nerd podcast, the podcast about gaming, movies, and everything nerd. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Rob.
Today is Jared's birthday, so he's not here. He's out celebrating, and we just want to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy
hope
birthday.
he enjoys the night. So we'll start off this week with talking to Andrew and see what he's been up to.
All right, so I haven't really been playing much games, but I've been watching a lot of games because of AGDQ. Awesome Games Done Quick.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about that later. All I really played, if anything, this week is some Destiny 2, and I really still really enjoy that game. So and still raiding. I love raids.
That's good.
Yeah, that's it for me, for games at least.
Well, that was short and to the point.
I know, very very to the point. Because we're gonna talk about it later. We'll talk about that stuff later.
It was a huge surprise. Andrew plays Destiny 2.
Hey.
No surprise. How about you, Rob? What have you been up to?
I was hoping to be done before the start of the stream, but sadly I did not quite make it. But I have been campaigning my way through South Park. The
nice.
Butthole.
Good game. I
am no spoilers, but I will tell you I'm towards the end according to the IGN walkthrough. So I probably have another 2-3 hours, and then I'm done.
Okay.
So. Looking forward to how it wraps up. It's been funny and fun and poignant at a lot of times. There's some pretty amazing social commentary, like everything that South Park does. So amazing game. I'm glad I'm finally getting a chance to sit down and play it.
Good game. One of my favorites of this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever finish Assassin's Creed?
No, that'll be next on the list. So once we get to this one,
I actually finally finished it. I'm at 91% completed, but I've done all the main storyline, all the side quests I could find. I've done all but one of the question mark areas because it's bugged and I can't complete one of the objectives for some reason. So I might check into that later, see if I can't complete it. But other than that, I've finished everything. I'm not sure what the other 9% is, but I'm not to look it up and find out.
It's pretty strong for an Assassin's Creed game because there is so much going on.
There's a lot in this game. Let's see. Let me see my playtime because it's I think around 60 hours. It was quite a bit. Hang on, I accidentally started the game. Oh no.
Well, all right, guys. Well, it's been fun.
That's it. Yeah, he's gonna finish it. We know his priorities.
Yeah, I'll have to edit that out because it's going to have a big freaking sound come up in about 2 seconds. Or never. Jesus. Sorry, stream.
That's okay. We're live. We're doing it live.
Exactly. It's that Intel bug, right? With the processor slowing
down.
It's the Ubisoft logo thing. It's like stone scraping stone. Messed up sound. All right. Oh yes, get all this nice Assassin's Creed music recorded. All right. Okay. Anyway, I'll have to cut right in here. Yeah, I got 51 hours in it, so.
Okay.
Well, quite a bit of content for an Assassin's Creed game. And if you haven't played this game, I think it's the best Assassin's Creed game to come out and probably a good idea of where the series is going to go from now on.
We think in 2 years, every Assassin's Creed?
I don't know. See, with this one, they already have 2 expansions planned. And I'll go ahead and talk about that now. The first one is called Hidden Ones, and it comes out this month. From what they're saying, it's got a brand new region that's not currently in the game, and the regions are pretty large, in my opinion. And it has a quote-unquote vast storyline, so it seems pretty healthy. And they're upping the level cap from 40 to 45, and it takes a good. I know if you played it, Rob, it takes a good bit to level.
Yeah, there's a ton of gameplay in there, and one of the unique things about this being the collection of gear and loot. I'm really curious to see what's going to be in the new expansion. I felt like they kind of covered everything that you would find in ancient Egypt. What else is there?
Without being too spoilery, I know that this one takes place, of course, after the end of the main storyline and kind of goes more along the lines of the curation of the Assassin Order, which you kind of get to at the very end and don't really get to see much after that. So this is going to build onto that. But yeah, five levels is a lot because it took at least 2 or maybe 2 hours to get from like 39 to 40. So, that's a lot for DLC, I think. Of course, they are classifying it as an expansion and not just DLC. So maybe we can expect, a good post game from the first and second expansion, which would be good. I think it's a really fun game.
Yeah, I hope so. They've done a great job with this one, and after coming back after taking some time off, I really think has helped them focus on where the franchise needs to go, because that whole yearly Madden type release really wasn't doing it a service, because none of them felt different. All of them felt the same, even though they were in very different geographical regions. They weren't unique, and the game.
It was kind of just reskinned.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
But with Origins, it's like the combat's completely overhauled. The stealth, in my opinion, is overhauled. The whole you can go anywhere at any time is something. It doesn't really you don't really feel that in the other Assassin's Creed games. Sure, it's free roam, but you kind of had a narrative driving you. But in this one, it's you can go anywhere at any time, any level. But I mean, you might get killed at the higher level areas, but. It feels a lot like Witcher. So if you're a big Witcher fan, I still haven't played Assassin's Creed, I would check it out. It's like a Witcher light.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
But yeah, some other news since we're already onto that. PUBG, the devs have hinted at they're working on a snow map for their next release. So we have the current 2 maps, and now they're working on a third. And I think that's good because. What this game really needs is a big variety of maps to play on. Because one map really gets old after a while, in my opinion.
Fortnite's doing good in it, though.
Yeah, I mean, but of course, Fortnite also hasn't been around as long as PUBG.
That's right.
I think
PUBG has a couple months on it.
Stale with it. Although I do think they've, the Mexico map isn't that old, and I'm not.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Of course, this is a paid game, so you're wanting to see more out of it than the free-to-play Fortnite, And I think with the last patch, they really had a huge increase in quality of the game. Speaking of something that came with the last update, you have the replay mode, which they said they're working on right now. I think it may come out very soon. Is a function to report cheaters using the replay mode. So if you get killed by a cheater, you can go back, watch how they killed you, and then record it and report it to the devs to get the player banned from the game.
That's new.
It's a nice tool. It really helps a lot because that's what plagues a lot of these battle royale games is. People hacking and cheating.
But I can see though that you can manipulate that. If it's internal in the game, maybe they can not manipulate it, but you can always manipulate video.
I'm sure it's not just based on video, but because I think there's a report function in the game currently.
Right.
But video evidence will help a lot for the actual cheaters.
That's true.
So that'd be good. Maybe that'll breathe some life into PUBG because it seems to be kind of not really dying out, but kind of hitting its plateau.
I don't think it's gonna die though. It's actually still more like it's just getting less. Maybe it's hit. Yeah, it hits a plateau.
It's hit a plateau right now.
Exactly. You're right.
It's got a good solid player base. But there's not a whole lot of people who don't own this game. The numbers are crazy on the sales.
Yeah.
So, speaking of sales, right now, if you go to humblebundle.com and subscribe to their Humble Monthly and do, just do 1 month, cancel later if you want, but you can get Civ 6 with all of its DLC for $12. And that's a great deal. I think that's the cheapest Civ 6 has been since its release.
So we're saying I can subscribe cancel it right then and there and still get that Civ 6 good to go.
I don't know how I haven't figured out how to cancel mine yet. I'm working on it, but
Gotcha.
yeah, because I'm a good friend. I got a Civ 6 for someone's birthday.
Aw.
Because I also need somebody to play with.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
A little ulterior motive there.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's like Amazon Prime or any of these other things. You subscribe for a month. There's a way to cancel it after you get your reward. But that's just the early reward. And then later in the month, they're going to, I think this is for February, so you might have to wait till February to get the rest of the rewards. But it unlocks a new tier of rewards and you get more games. So that's just the base layer. So $12 Civ 6 plus some little other goodies coming along later. It's not a bad deal.
They're still doing the other Humble Bundles, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was because they've done this for I think at least over a year now, where they've had a monthly subscription based thing, or they give games away.
Okay.
I know last month they had like The Long Dark, War, Dawn of War, something like that. And a lot of other indie games. I know they've given out Tomb Raider, the 1 and 2 at some point. But it's interesting. And you also get an access to like a library of games for free. They're not big titles. They're a little older, but it's a library of games you get to play for free while you're subscribed. So it's not bad.
Yeah, and either way you slice it, $12 for Civ 6 and all the DLC. That's amazing. So
I personally think it's an amazing deal.
Yeah. So I mean, even if you don't stick with it, it's still. I mean, and you constantly get the new games, so maybe it is something that you kind of pick it each time and see which one really hits you. But yeah, Civ 6, that's a strong one. Start off the new year.
Oh yeah. And speaking of that, we got a little bit more news on the new expansion, and another new Civ. We've talked about this a little bit. Is going to be Georgia.
But they just lost to Alabama.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, all right. Streams over. Podcast's over. We'll see you guys next time.
I just don't know how you build an entire civilization around a university.
No.
I see what you did there. I see what you're doing here.
But yeah. So there's that. Moving on, we have some exciting VR news. We're getting wireless VR with the Vive Pro.
Oh, that's really cool.
There's no release on it yet, but yeah, it's wireless. It's going to have a 78% increase over the current resolution on the Vive, which that's a huge increase.
Yeah, I wonder what the screen door effect will be reduced to. Because that's really the big complaint right now, is that it kind of looks like you're looking through the screen door because the resolution is so low, and that you can see
that's really bad on the
pixels.
PlayStation.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge quality drop off when you play it. I'm not sure how it is on the Vive, because Vive is one of the more premium VR products.
Mm-hmm. And even being a premium one, you still have the screen door effect. It's still very much there. So I'm looking forward to this. I mean, a 78% increase in resolution. You're going to need a pretty beastly machine to be able to run that resolution. And the 90 FPS.
And a lot of cheddar. So that's going to be an expensive piece of equipment.
Well, we'll see. Screens aren't that expensive nowadays. I mean, you look.
No, but I mean, wasn't the original Vive $800 when it came out?
Yeah, it was expensive, but it was also, it was also kind of looking into establishing the market.
This is also the Pro version, so I know they're cheaper now, but this one will be a premium of their regular headset, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, didn't we talk about this though? I think you talked about some wireless dongle like for others a while back, and now it's coming out.
Yeah,
it's official now. Yeah,
it's official.
Well, the one that he's referring to was an add-on for the existing setups, and this one will be a full-blown wireless.
Yeah, this will be a full-blown wireless,
right?
Brand new headset. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the other one you gotta tuck the cables into and set up an adapter on your computer, and then
and that adapter for the Vive is coming out in the third quarter of this year. Yeah, so they didn't give a release on yet.
So Rob, you saying you're looking forward to this?
Yeah, well, I mean, the increase in resolution, yeah. I would like to, I certainly will try to compare it, see what it looks like.
Okay, so you're selling your old one?
Potentially, potentially. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it is, I mean, obviously, I don't think I need two VR systems, so
one for
yeah.
each eye. I don't know.
Yeah, but to have the wireless capability on a VR headset,
Mhm.
that's crazy. I mean, because now you got
Full movement, right?
full movement. Because before you're kind of limited to like a sort of like 180. Sometimes you get a little bit more than that, but you get tangled up in wires. That ain't no fun.
Yeah, you kind of gotta do a trick with your foot where you're kind of kicking the cable
Yeah.
away when you're backing up and everything.
I've heard of like running it on the ceiling and dropping it down to your head, that kind of thing.
You pretty much have to
Getting
have a room
fancy with
dedicated
it.
for that.
Yeah.
One thing I will mention that we hadn't talked about with this one is it is going to be doing the positional 3D sound.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be reacting to where you move your head as well. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
right now it just plays in stereo. So
Right.
whatever the game is playing, it will do it in stereo, but it's not positional, and that's what it was bringing is positional 3D audio, which will be, well, it'll just help make the immersiveness even more.
Yeah, and it'll have active noise cancellation, so just in case someone's yelling at you, you're not going to know it. So try not to get murdered while playing in your new wireless Vive Pro.
The next step to the Matrix, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Right?
or the Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. Right?
Yeah.
The Oasis.
The Oasis. So, yeah, excited about that. Won't have the money for that anytime soon. That'll be a couple years down the road. I just now got a PlayStation VR, so I'm not quite ready for the premium experience. Some more news. Total War 3 Kingdoms was announced. It is the first game to be set, the first Total War game to be set in China. And if you know what those are an RTS. It's like 4 times, sort of like Civ, but more combat based. But it'll be set in 190 CE, and it'll focus on trying to unite China under one banner.
I like the Dynasty Wars. I'll stick with those. Those have a great story,
This
amazing
is-
action.
This is supposed to be where that's set, but on a strategy game instead of your Dynasty Warrior like slashing through millions of little people on the ground. It's going to be top down tactical
Right.
combat.
I haven't gotten into it, but I was interested in looking into the Total War Warhammer series that they put
I
out.
played the first one. I had the first one. It's really fun.
Got good
But-
ratings from what I remember.
Yeah, it's like with all the DLC, it looks like an investment. Because I haven't bought the DLC, but there's like a million DLC.
Well, the physical game of Warhammer has real life, real money DLC.
Yeah.
with tons of armies and customizations, and you're painting them all. So, whatever it costs to add these things will probably be pretty minor compared to the real money spent.
This is true.
On the
But
minis.
interesting enough, the second one came out last year after the first one came out the year before, so they're like a yearly release.
Mhm.
The third one's coming out, I think, this year. But after the third one comes out, I think if you have all 3 games and all the DLC, it like combines it all into one map. So like one giant map that spans across all 3 games with all the factions that you've purchased with DLC. It's supposed to be like one huge epic campaign you're supposed to be able to play. But then again, it's a huge investment.
I'll be checking to see what what reviews look like on that, and see how people respond, because that sounds like more gaming than I have time for.
it really does.
But it does sound cool.
But the first one is really fun. So if you really like Civ type games and more in-depth combat instead of like click this unit, go fight this guy, you have to actually like move, command the units on where to go on the battlefield, that kind of thing. It's really fun.
And if you like bad dialogue and just endless action, pick up Dynasty Warriors 9. I think that's coming out soon.
The Overwatch League is about to start, and I think Blizzard just came to a deal with Twitch, and the first 2 seasons of the league will be on Twitch exclusively.
That's
and
pretty huge.
Rip mix.
yeah, that's really big. who knows what's going to go after that? But I know that they're going to have like their own like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a system. They've built their own system to be like you can interact with stuff as you're watching. You know, I'm sure there'll be like a scoreboard and all that other good stuff. But they're going all out on this. Like they're wanting it to be the premium esports league. You know, up there next to the NBA and the NFL and MLB, but for video games.
Yeah, well, they're taking it real serious. They
are.
Every team has their own uniform, so
Mm-hmm.
they all have their own unique skins for their team.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the owners, if you take a look at the owners of the teams, they're people that own, you know, NFL franchises, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, Mark Cuban's I think in on it in some form or fashion. So yeah, it's there's a lot of money.
It
going
is.
behind this thing.
They're serious about it. They really want this to be, I guess not. It's not really the start, but this is kind of like, okay, esports is a serious deal. You know, that kind of thing.
They also hired John Madden for commentary. I think that was a bold move, to be honest.
That'd be
amazing.
interesting.
Insert
That would
insert
be
best
interesting.
John Madden commentary impression here.
Yeah, I don't want to.
No.
You know that, but they're all, you know, besides it being on Twitch, all the games are going to be played live at the Blizzard Arena where they had the BlizzCon, and you can buy tickets and go to the arena and watch every match they have this year.
The Blizzard
wanted.
Arena. That sounds
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah, that's where they hosted the championships this year. So, maybe you want to go watch the games. Head out to LA and check it out. Be
Yeah, it's the
interesting to
future.
see.
It's the future. That's you know, the whole concept of, you know, appointment TV or watching a show that comes on at a certain time is completely in the past. You know, kids nowadays are growing up with a tablet that can play pretty much anything on demand and whenever
Mhm.
they're looking for it. So, yeah, I don't see. I just see this growing bigger and bigger and becoming, you know, more and more mainstream. As
Mhm.
much as people made fun of it a couple of years ago, it's taken over.
Well, I mean, we've already had the NFL's on Amazon Prime. The commissioner for the NBA has already said that he wants a more Twitch-like experience for NBA games. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see all this stuff bleed over into, physical sports and see how that affects other aspects of the sports community.
I would love to see a Twitch chat on any NFL game and or basketball game.
I could not handle a Twitch chat for Monday night's college game.
I would love to see
would.
it. Love to see it. Pog champs, Kappas,
Kappas.
everywhere.
I would be the pillar of salt. So much
The
salt.
pillar of
Anyway.
entertainment.
Last little bit from me, but Razer's coming out with speakers now. If they've already didn't have a corner of every single PC peripheral there is, they're coming out with desktop speakers, not headphones, but the actual speakers. And of course, they're Chroma edition, so they light up and do all those fancy Razer things that everybody loves. As I look down at my Razer mouse and keyboard.
I think I joked about this before, but I just want to see a full-blown Razer experience, like desk and like where every peripheral's there, right? And then just a gamer just sitting down at it as if like holding his thumbs up. Razer's the best, kind of thing.
With that, the Chroma will now work with Hue lighting, the Philips Hue light bulbs that some people may have if they like to spend a little extra money on light bulbs that can change colors. So you can sync all that up with your keyboard, your mouse, your speakers, your headset. I think they have, the mouse pads. Now you sync it up to your bedroom or office lights, and your whole entire room will be synced up in color.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot of fun, though. I've got some of those home automation things going, and
Yeah.
what's nice is I like being able to throw on the different colored lights for like different times.
Mhm.
One thing that I have set up is whenever there's a score by the team I'm watching, it'll actually start flashing the lights when they score
That's cool.
with the color of the team. So
That's cool.
But they're not Razer, though.
they're not Razer now.
Okay,
But
just checking.
it's out there. They have the technology.
They have it.
Do you use the Hue lighting, or do you have another
I use a
lighting
LifeX,
source.
but basically it's all driven from Alexa, which Hue and LifeX and all that all integrates with Google Home and Alexa anyway. So
yeah, I've invested in the Google, so I'm gonna go with Google instead of Alexa. But yeah, so I mean, if you're into that, there's that. So that's cool. But yeah, that's all I thought. I see you guys have some things written down here. If you guys want to take it away.
Some quick news. Nintendo, the Switch. We keep talking about the Switch almost every week, but this time it's pretty big news. You got within 10 months, Nintendo Switch has become the fastest selling video game system of all time in the United States. That is a tweet.
Pretty impressive.
As a tweet from Nintendo of America. And that, I guess those numbers, meaning in 10 months, out of all the systems, of course, PS4 was even the biggest one previously, sold the most, but now Nintendo Switch has. And that's number one. They met their need, right, of like, I think they stated they were going to push out more consoles this past holiday season, and they did, obviously, because it sold a whole bunch. And of course, Nintendo has created something amazing here. Again, from the Wii, they skipped the Wii U. That generation's gone, but now they've definitely created something here for portable gaming. People were skeptical at first with the low graphics, like not as strong graphics as a PS4 and Xbox One, but this is obviously a testament to their successes here. So
I think the big selling point is the portability.
Of course,
you can play these AAA games anywhere.
But let's not forget the three best-selling games. I think, and this is another statistic. I didn't put it on the notes, but the three best-selling games on Amazon was number 1 Mario, number 2 Mario Kart 8, and number 3 Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 Game of the Year contenders in there.
Absolutely. So that the games sell the system as well.
Yeah, I guess Nintendo has just shown that the Wii U may have sucked, but they got it right with the Switch.
They experimented with the Wii. I think it was a gateway. Like that.
It really was, because if you had a Wii U,
you knew exactly where they were sort of going with that tablet system.
The Wii U controller is basically a primitive Switch.
Yeah. Yep.
So
nice. Good on Nintendo. Keep it up.
Nintendo. I wonder what the statistic is in Japan for the fastest selling console.
I don't know. Probably.
I think it's the Switch.
I would think
so. You think Switch?
Yeah. We'll have to look that up later.
I'll have to look that up. I wonder. Yeah. It's only a matter of time before, in my opinion, it's probably going to outsell the PS2. This is a bold statement, no comment on that from everybody else, but I think it'll outsell the PS2.
I don't know the statistic, so I would assume too, because if you think about it, it's just gonna become more popular. So right now it's the snowball effect of just now everyone's seeing it. Now everyone can bring it around and they can show it to people. Because I've been showing it to my family too, and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty amazing." The next year, of course, they're probably gonna have a new model or new Joy-Cons colors and more games, and then of course it's just gonna get bigger and bigger.
Is it still? I don't know. Is it still hard to get as it was earlier? Or is it kind of slowed down now?
I think I can get. Yeah, I think you can see them out there.
Okay,
just not.
You can order it on the usual places.
Yep,
that's good. Just to add on to the Nintendo Switch thing before we move on, there was a screen, not really a screenshot, but a picture of a Switch that had a system update on it that showed apps like Netflix, Hulu's already on there, but it was like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube, all the video streaming services. It had background images, so you could change, sort of like on the PS4, you can have or the Xbox, where you have a background image and a theme. So that could be coming pretty soon with a system update. It could be, or it could be fake.
Yeah, well, having those portable would be nice, but I don't think it'll really take off as the device in the living room without a remote.
No, it's nice. I think it'd be nice to have it on there just for convenience, but it's not going to be a selling point for sure. So
let's be honest though, Nintendo If you need anything to fix, it's your online system and your communication.
Yeah. That's a bit. I think there's a big update for that coming here soon, but it's going to be a paid service. So
yeah, we hope so. But they still haven't gotten that in order.
I mean, it's not out yet, but I mean, they have said they're coming out with a paid online service like Xbox Live and PS Plus.
Right.
Yeah, and you know the way to actually utilize the online voice chat for the Switch is you have to have a phone.
So
and
bad.
Then you have to plug in a Y adapter that goes from the phone into the Switch.
Really?
Yeah, it's problematic in a lot of ways. So basically, you have to run the Nintendo app and everything else, and I don't know. It looks a little cumbersome. I think they kind of missed the boat on that one.
They might have a headset coming out later with that or something.
I mean, you figure with the Xbox, I can plug in my headset directly into the controller,
right?
And hear the sound of the game and whoever's chatting with me, and if I have a mic, talk right back with them, and that's no additional adapter needed.
Right.
Yep.
But I mean, with the Joy-Cons, that's not possible. They'd have to have a new, because it has the controller adapter now that you can put it into, but they'd have to come out with one that has the capability of transmitting voice and sound through it to do the headset like that.
Yeah, and that gets unreliable as far as who's going to have it. You know, how much was it adopted? Can they really count on that to be the driver for it? And truthfully, I don't know if the online game experience is really as necessary for the Switch to be popular.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of online play. I mean, there's ARMS, there's Splatoon, but there's not a whole lot of third-party multiplayer games like Call of Duty or Battlefield or Battlefront or any of the big FPSs. But maybe if it'll come soon.
So I figure I would go ahead and touch a little bit on the AGDQ that's running this week. I know we talked about it last week. I've been hyped for it. It's the Awesome Games Done Quick. They are. It's basically a week-long, 24-hour speed run event. And what they do is they're raising money for charity for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. And I'm having a blast watching them go through and just demolish these old games and even some newer games with just absolutely amazing completion times. Like games that I would spend hours and hours on as a kid, I'm seeing people beat them in 10, 15 minutes and just absolutely having like perfect mechanics and just being able to get right through it. I'm really envious of the people that can play it well.
And all of the glitches and all the things you learn from them. I think just recently today, they did a tutorial on how to speedrun on which game was it? I'll remember it. But
was it Strider?
Strider, yeah, that was great. Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. So they took a speedrunner that didn't know the game, but then had a teacher teach him at least the quick speedrun of it, so with glitches and everything, and he did it. He did it in like 7 minutes. So it's so good, and I've been watching it the whole time. Not the whole time, but when I can. Of course, they put everything on VOD, which I'll watch later. But I love it. So watching just Ninja Turtles SNES on the SNES being completely destroyed. I can never play that well. Me and my brothers played it together, and we couldn't do as well as this one guy did, getting like 1,000 kills and everything, and playing Raphael. I never played Raphael, but seeing him play Raphael was like, what? I didn't know he was so powerful. And then there was Sonic Adventure race. They had a race between other players who had multiple people racing to finish in time. And it's so cool to see the crowd in the background of like 200 people. Everyone is yelling the bad dialogue in Sonic Adventures, just really getting into it and cheering on the entire community. Really makes it like feel like it's a really great community. And then one of the most amazing things I've seen this week was there's a reverse boss order Donkey Kong Country run. Have you ever seen this?
No, that's pretty wild.
It's mind blowing because they can manipulate screen transitions like in between like one level and another to warp you into different parts of the world. So I don't know how they did it. Like they took a barrel, they manipulated this one monster, they went to a door, and then now they're in World 2, Section 2 of this specific level, and then they just went on from there, and then beat the boss, and then they manipulated again to get to wherever they wanted, and then they did all the bosses in reverse order. So they took a game that I played a lot back when, completely destroyed it, and then they just made fun of it. So I just love this event so much. They also did just today. It was a blindfold turbo tunnel level in the Battletoads. Ever played Battletoads? Anyone played Battletoads?
Yeah, that thing's impossible.
It's impossible.
No, I've never played it, but of course it's the meme.
The turbo tunnel level is impossible. Like, it's impossible for you to just look at the screen and be like, "This is so fast. I give up. I'm gonna rage quit." This guy did it blindfolded.
That's nuts.
I don't know what to say. Everyone gave him a standing ovation because it deserves a standing ovation. That is absolutely amazing. Then I saw today this guy beat Dragon Warrior, like the original Dragon Warrior, in 40 minutes using RNG manipulation, where based on specific frames he exploited the supposed RNG system behind the game, and then it's recorded as one of the largest reductions of time in a speed run. So this is just, I don't know. There's so many events that go on during this whole week. They really put on a good show. Yes, there are some like memes with the AGDQ and everything, but they really do a great job.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. And I've got it running at work all day long, so I've been keeping tabs, and people have come by and said, what's going on there, and everyone's kind of impressed with the fact that they're able to raise the money that they're at. I think currently they're closing in on 500,000.
No, they passed it, way past it,
they
actually.
Did? Okay.
Yeah.
Earlier today it was still in the fours, if I remember right. Maybe I looked at it wrong. But either way, it's all for a good cause, and it's great that the gaming community can come together and do something like this, and really get some positivity out there.
I look forward to it. They do two events. GDQ does 2 events every year. I look forward to it every single year.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of things you can look forward to, the Sea of Thieves closed beta was announced. It'll be opening up on January 24th and running through the 29th.
Ooh.
Closed beta. I want in on that.
Well, you can pre-order and get in on it. So the path is open to you. But
they always get you with that pre-order.
Exactly. Even if you decide not to, I am going to be in it, and I did pre-order it, and I did pre-order the custom controller with it too. It's too cool looking not to. So I'll be Sea of Thieves out, and I'll be reporting during that time frame.
How did you do this on the Xbox? So I'm guessing it's a Play Anywhere title.
Yeah, you can play it on the not only on the Xbox but also on Windows 10 systems, and it is cross-play. So you can join up with a group from either system. So no limitations there.
Did they say what's going to be in the closed beta?
No, I think they're gonna let us kind of explore that. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of how the loot system works in terms of what kind of things you can acquire. And I'm really curious to see if they're going to add any more monsters to fight. The variety of monsters right now is fairly limited, but it was also just the closed alpha or the alpha, so not a whole lot of. You really can't expect to see a finished product there.
Yeah, Rob. So picture this, right? You got a bunch of ships. I don't know, 10 ships. They're out in the sea. Then the Kraken comes up, and all the ships have to now fight the Kraken. And they get loot out of it.
That'd be pretty awesome.
How awesome would that be? I'd buy the game just for that. World boss.
Well, I think we can actually start streaming the betas. I don't think there's any NDA or any kind of blockade on what kind of information you can give out. So.
Nice. That's good.
Once I've confirmed, then I'll be able to, hand out the information from there. But yeah, the hype is real for this one, so looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's not overhyped.
Well, speaking of things that might be overhyped.
Nice transition.
Oh boy. No.
I'll let you take
Dislike.
Great transition.
Go ahead.
So the director of Destiny 2, extended an olive branch this week. He's going to be coming on and talking to the the community. I'm not sure exactly the format or how it's all going to be coming out, but basically kind of a state of the game and kind of acknowledging that, the outcry is there and they're hearing it and they want to react to it. And they have to. All the negative publicity that they have it's louder than the positivity that's going out there right now. So I think they have to do something to be able to kind of bring this back into the fold. But I'm curious to get your input on it, Andrew. And I know he hasn't spoken yet; it won't be till tomorrow. But curious what kind of things you'd like to hear from him, and what your perspective is on it.
So that same guy, Barrett, he's the game director. He's sent out a bunch of tweets already regarding what they've been talking about, and we discussed in previous podcasts. Some things related to the Eververse, some things related to the new faction rallies and Iron Banner, and also some things related to the prestige raids, and the rewards for higher level content. Those are the main pain points of the community right now, right? Because you want to be in the game more, you want to feel rewarded for time being spent in the game, and then if you choose to buy stuff, then you also want to feel like you're rewarded for, at least not rewarded, but you're given something of value. I think you guys can agree with that, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe they talk about some, I don't know, maybe more stuff that we can do in the game, because it feels like there's not a whole lot to do in the game.
Yeah, I can see that. For me, it's the experience of playing with the clan, and then of course making new friendships and getting people through their first raid and them experiencing it. That's something that I enjoy. That brings me further. But for other players, when they just want to sit down, play the game and get rewarded for their loot, or they want something very unique, whether that be like a ship, like in Destiny 1, where you beat a hard mode. We talked about this before. Or you beat Crota and you got some shader that you can show off. Those sort of things bring people into the end game.
Sort of like your WoW title.
Yeah, a WoW title for instance. A banner that you can show, those sort of things. So which I do have that in the prestige modes, but really Destiny players want loot. They also want that loot previous where you had a set, like an actual set, and then that set had specific perks that help you do hard mode and stuff, which they took out completely in D2. Didn't like that.
Yeah, everything feels very generic.
Yeah, so I think he's going to address those things. I want to see him address those things, and of course, I want him to address the Eververse and what's going forward with that. A couple of positive things that we've seen already is that the faction rally and the Iron Banner they said they're going to have those ships, sparrows, and cosmetics out in the open and not part of the Eververse.
That's a good first step.
That's a good first step. Now, they haven't made it they haven't given us details on how to obtain all those things and how that's going to work, but you can imagine that that's one step forward. And that's telling us that they can change the game to include those cosmetics, those things that we want outside of the Eververse, which before in the Dawning was locked to the Eververse.
Yeah, well, that's artificially put up there, and it's understood why. I mean, there's a shelf life for games, and this is their opportunity to kind of take advantage of, maybe not take advantage, but just to
benefit. Maybe.
Yeah, benefit from the season and people being a little more, interested in some of the uniqueness of what goes on. But I don't think you have to look past Overwatch to see a game that really gets it as far as what the loot boxes and the cosmetics look like. So hopefully they'll align a little bit closer to that. But
yeah, I think Overwatch is probably the shining example of loot boxes and how it should be done.
But I like to put it this way, though. Even without the loot boxes, let's say tests never existed in Destiny 2, okay? Just take it out of your mind. Now, if they brought something in, that's just free loot that you play. Like, you play and you get the free loot, right? So, for instance, right now, if they didn't have tests, then you'd just be playing the game, going to the raids, getting loots, and that's the loot that you get. Fine. But now, since Tess is there, people are like, I expect a Bright Engram to give me something because I leveled up, I earned this. Now I'm upset that I don't have the thing, and now I want to go back to Tess and get everything in it. But wait, look, it's blocked behind the pay gate. that sort of thing makes me feel like people are, how would I say this, like
I
not,
definitely
not
feel like
thankful
the game...
for that, like it's Bungie almost gave you this bright engram like system because they appreciate you, but then again they take it the other way and they put the good stuff behind the pay gate. That's the disrespectful part of it. And then when you pay it, you're just like, you're not getting that much out of it.
That's like you're kind of alluding to, without the Eververse, it would lack a lot of a lot of meaning to play. Like you lose a lot of that
the motivation.
drive. Yeah,
you really don't have that.
It's not
when you're not able to acquire those new shaders without going through and doing the Eververse grind.
And I see,
One thing I noticed though, and I sent you a link on it. There was a story where I think Polygon had put it out, but they were essentially investigating, why are people so salty about Destiny 2 loot boxes and not other games' loot boxes? And it really came down to just they're not really implemented like they should be. And when I mean like they should be, it's an expensive proposition. I think they've valued the Eververse engrams at around $1.38, somewhere in that range, and that's a little bit on the high side for most games.
And it's kind of, there's not like an alternative to doing all this stuff. Like you have to go through that system to get these things. There's not like where you can go off and do this instead to grind things out. This is the only way to grind things out. It's through this one system.
Yeah, and people really don't value the legendary drops in there. Most people are farming and hunting for the exotic, shaders or the sparrows or whatever else. So as soon as you get an exotic ship or an exotic sparrow, all the legendary ones you've gotten probably aren't going to see much use.
Yeah, I still like my sweep emote a lot. It's really, really good.
I would say you kind of you take things a little bit more to heart when it comes to Destiny, and you are looking at some of those variety, but it's a status, right? So I think most people are wanting to say, hey, look at this cool exotic I have.
And okay, so going back to what they're going to, at least here's what I'm going to predict they're going to say. First, there's no stream as far as I know. They're not going to surprise you with a stream, so I wouldn't expect that. But I would expect is either This Week at Bungie, or there's going to be a separate section for the developer talk, and of course Barrett discussing these issues, which I'm not going to. I don't like to see that. I would like the TWAB to be something different than the developer notes, which they have provided before regarding some big issues that happened previously with the Curse of Osiris expansion and that whole debacle of locking people out. They actually had a separate post regarding that. I'm going to predict that they're going to have that as well, but we'll see. I hope they have one separate article for just developer notes and one separate article just for the TWAB, where it's more community based. Here's what's happening at Bungie. This faction rally is coming up. Here are the dates. That sort of thing. Here's a calendar. Whereas the other one is like very serious, and the developers addressing the community, saying these are the changes that we're going to make. Here's the timeline and what you can expect. If we don't get that tomorrow, tomorrow meaning like for the future people that are listening to it, which would be Thursday, which is usually it comes out for This Week at Bungie. If it doesn't come out tomorrow, then people are going to be really upset, because the Reddit and everything is everyone's sort of expecting something soon, very soon.
It's kind of like the player base is in a state of emergency. They're wanting something.
Well, I'm sure there's pressure from the publisher to, hey, all this negative publicity, we want to sell this game,
Yeah.
They have the investment, they want to be able to recoup their money, and with the negativity, they have to realize, okay, well, we've got to do something to put a positive spin on this, and maybe tomorrow is the new start. So let's see what happens. But I think pretending everything is all right is probably not the right way for them to have approached it. And I think it's good that they're kind of taking it serious and going from there.
So next week we'll have more news about either they messed up completely or they're really changing. So we'll see. We'll see.
Look forward to the next Destiny show.
Well, let's move on to some other news. So there's kind of a stigma about onboard graphics cards, and they're underpowered, and it's very difficult to play any kind of newer games on them. But Intel's looking to change that with a new announcement they had this week about the Kaby Lake Intel processors are going to be bundled with Radeon chips. And what they're comparing it to is essentially an Intel i7700, which is pretty popular processor, especially for you see a lot of streamers have it, paired up with a 1050 GTX. So I would say a low to mid level graphics, discrete graphics card, and they're looking to have this on just one chip.
It's pretty amazing if they can do that, but the VRAM is going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to have that included on. I think they said it was going to be in the 2 GB range, so you're not looking at
that's even lower
graphics
than the 1050 I was thinking of. Because
Yeah,
it's
but
4
you're
gigs,
also-
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they vary anywhere from like 2 to
okay.
4, but
I gotcha.
I think if you looked at the average gaming computer on Steam right now, and they actually did put it out, is that most people have about 2 gigs of video RAM. So there's going to be some more information as it comes up, but I think it's exciting for a lot of people, especially maybe people on a budget, looking at the processors and saying I can get an all-in-one type of solution. So this may make it a little bit easier for some systems to be able to be low cost and also play gaming, somewhat decently.
Yeah, I'd like to see that turn into maybe a standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than like buying this huge system with, the huge graphics card with your case. You can just have that one chip.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm most interested in maybe a tablet that has this, this chipset, and being able to, have some quality gaming on the go, outside of, consoles.
Which is basically like the Switch, right? I mean, the Switch is sort of like that, yeah.
Switch PC edition.
Well, I think they see the future. That's where they're going to have to be able to compete. They got to be able to get in a small form factor and be able to.
It's kind of an untapped market.
Good graphics.
I don't know. Razer's got their gaming phone. Remember?
But does it do well?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
we haven't heard anything about it yet. So anything good or bad?
I don't think it's a gaming phone. I think it's just a phone.
Okay.
That has the Razer logo and it probably glows.
Right.
Yeah, it's got some RGB going on.
It's got to.
It hooks up to your Hue light system.
Got to.
So maybe a little bit more serious note. My day was kind of ruined yesterday, as I was, putting together some stories for today. When I was on Twitter and saw that Lyric, popular Twitch streamer, announced that he wanted to take some time to step aside from streaming, and was looking to would not be on not only that day, but wasn't sure when or if he would even be back.
Any reason?
Well, he did kind of give some information, is that he was tired of being a meme, and he was having some concerns. The way I took it is that he was a little unsure, or maybe not quite convinced of his creativity actually coming across. The quote that is kind of out there right now is that he doesn't understand why people even watch him, which, who knows what's actually going on in his head, but that can be a pretty sour thing to have to, contemplate. So,
his brand, basically. He's unsure about his brand, his goals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
now,
really
I find him to be extremely enjoyable to watch. So I was, again, like I said, I was pretty shattered. He did announce today, though, that he's probably only going to be taking about a week off.
But that could be a start of something like... It could send a message, too, to his audience, being like, I'm serious about this.
Right. And I thought I know, Andrew, I know you stream, and Brandon, you stream as well. And I thought maybe I'd bring up just a quick discussion of streamer burnout. How real is this? And what is your guys' experience with it?
Do you want to step in there, Brendan, or...
Well, I haven't really gone into I've only done I could count on my hand how many times I've streamed. But I think that's more I'm lacking on the technology side of that. But yeah, Andrew, this is probably more more for you to talk about.
Yeah, I've streamed a lot. I actually took, and I'm not sure if anyone knew this, but I took basically a good 2-month period of streaming every night to experiment of like just growth, branding. You know, if I put a lot of hard work into it, what kind of growth am I going to get, right? I took it very seriously. I took it seriously enough to say, like, I'm going to do some overlays. I'm going to make sure that I have a schedule. I'm going to make sure that I have quality content. I'm going to check again all my sounds and my video, that sort of thing, to make it a good quality show. And that puts putting a lot of effort into it, putting a lot of time into it. You kind of get almost obsessed if you see like growth. Does that make sense? Like, you're seeing all your hard work and effort grow, and so you see viewers coming in, giving you feedback. You know, you see really good interaction. You're playing a video game at the same time. You're creating a brand. You're creating a community. So that was fun a while back, and I streamed almost every day, just experiment. But streamer burnout is a thing because it took some time, like I said, and then after some time, I didn't see much growth. So I'm putting a lot of time into it. I didn't see much growth. It gives you a sense of perspective, and like there's a lot of streamers out there, as you know. The whole entire Twitch community, and now Mixer and YouTube, there's a lot of people out there. So getting your brand out there, it takes a lot of work. Right? It takes a lot of work. Now, on Lyric's perspective, he's already big. He's been there since the beginning, right, Rob? Like, he's been there since
2012.
Yeah, so he's really the early adopter, which you can attest to. Like, that's some of his success there, being an early adopter and then continuing his brand. That sort of thing. But for people now getting into it, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Like, how do you stand out? How do you stand out in the world of, I don't know how many streamers are out there every night, or how do you create a brand? How do you create a community? That sort of thing. So yeah, going back to streamer burnout, I burnt out pretty hard because I really didn't see too much growth for the time that I put into it. I would say that for a streamer now, to be at least semi-successful, or at least gets you in a space where you can be a little bit successful, is you have to stream like over 8 hours a day. You have to make sure that you put on a good show. You have some kind of, either you're funny, you're a pro player, you have some kind of gimmick. Like, there's a lot of gimmick streams out there. A lot of event streams out there. You're going with the times. You're like a hype factor of specific games. You're following the larger streamers and where they're going. And then of course, like a lot of streamers today, I've watched them too. I'm sure you can attest to this, Rob, is luck. Like, you gotta have luck to make it big.
I agree. Yeah, you look at the rise of Dr. Disrespect over the last year, and a lot of that was him just picking up and running with PUBG as it was gaining momentum. You know, there was this goofy-looking guy on the front page of the Twitter feed or the Twitch feed, and you'd say, "Well, who's this guy?" And then you watch him for a little while. Maybe he grows on you, maybe he doesn't. But after a while, that's all anyone talked about. Dr. Disrespect on PUBG.
Yep. Yeah. And there's, I like just more things nowadays. Is you see a lot of, I like to knowing streaming, and it's like Twitch is like a high school. I put it this way: Twitch is like a high school. You either have to be popular amongst the popular kids, like the big names. If you can get into that network, you're pretty much set. You can grow, right? If you do some kind of crazy thing to get you noticed, that'll get you noticed, right? But you also could, set yourself up for failure for the rest of your Twitch career, that sort of thing, right? And then just like being out there like constantly, like just showing yourself and being popular, that sort of thing. Is just being out there for 10 hours a day, making sure you're streaming, that sort of thing, just get you noticed. Yeah, so there's definitely a burnout, and I want to get back into it, but I'm going to be doing it more casually. I have to enjoy it, right? As a streamer, if you see your brand, like Lyric, I'm sure he's saying, if he's not enjoying it right now, then why stream? If you're not enjoying your profession, or you're not enjoying your hobby, which is my hobby, then I shouldn't be streaming. I should be giving my best and enjoying it, so that my community and my my audience sees the best in me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well said, I think. So, well, I appreciate that insight on it, because when I heard he was stepping away, the first reaction is, well, he doesn't have a really tough job. He gets to play video games for a living. But when you really look down at everything that's going on around him, you got to have a pretty thick skin, because Twitch chat can be pretty relentless. You can you can get your feelings hurt pretty quick if you read it and take it to heart. So,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate the insight on it.
Just moving forward a little bit, we are getting close to on time here, so we probably won't do 20 questions this week. But just want to do some movie news. The Black Panther movie tickets went on pre-sale, and they're the of course they're going to be but they are the highest selling for pre-purchase tickets for any Marvel Cinematic Universe movie so far.
Well, that's pretty huge.
So it's a pretty popular movie.
Yeah, and it looks good, too.
I don't think it's been marketed as big as some of the other ones have.
Oh man, it's been, I would say since I remember seeing the previews for it before Thor. So that's been at least 4 or 5 months now. So I feel like they've given it a lot of promotion. Maybe not so much on TV, but definitely trailers before. But regardless, I think it looks good.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see it.
It's good. It may be one of the best ones they've come out with yet. It's hopefully it'll be a little original.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
And then of course, I think when Infinity War comes out, I think that'll be the best, like the highest pre-ticket sales.
Oh, it'll probably definitely beat that record just for the it being that. But we also hope that would be the best too.
Yeah. And Black Panther is a big part of that too. Whenever you see the trailer for Infinity War, you see Black Panther at the front, right next, shoulder to shoulder with Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't get much bigger than that in the Marvel Cinematic.
Yeah, this is the last big piece of the cog that goes into the Infinity War, the last big player. So, sticking with some Marvel news, there's a little bit of talking going on. It looks like they're maybe looking for a writer for a Black Widow movie.
It's about time.
I mean, they've talked about it for a while. Nothing official, but we might see a movie with her. And I mean, I feel like, of course, Hawkeye might be attached to that as well.
Yeah, that would make sense. A good kind of a buddy movie.
Mm-hmm. Of course, none of this is official. This is kind of just talk, but we may be hearing an announcement for that pretty soon.
So looking for a writer, but so they have a director, or just that's the first step as a writer.
I think the writers, because they have to write up a script or write up the direction of movie they want to go with. So it's probably their first step.
I'm really surprised it's taken this long. They see the success of Wonder Woman. They got to be thinking, hey, we've got kind of the original here, with Black Widow.
It is something the Marvel hasn't done yet. Mm-hmm. So,
and they do have other movies with female leads, coming up. You got Captain Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be
Black Widow's a big part of all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been just about all the movies.
Just about, maybe in minor roles, but she's Iron Man, all of the Avengers movies, of course, Captain America movies. So it's a character that spreads across the whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some other Netflix news going on. They're rebooting Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So if you like that show back in the 90s, they're redoing that too. Good old Netflix.
Well, I think that's good. I mean, it certainly had its its fan base. It's pretty popular for that type of show. I think one of the things that I thought was pretty unique about Sabrina, and I wasn't a long time watcher or anything, but it kind of helped shepherd in a lot of these other shows like Buffy and even Smallville all kind of came in because of it showed that there was room for, besides comedies and dramas, that there was room for kind of the fantastic on TV. So, you were starting to see a little bit more of, these shows that would be not necessarily mainstream. Of course, now they would be, but like you would have like your hero movies and hero TV shows, and a lot of that's from these early shows that kind of took some chances.
Pioneers, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's this about a Godzilla?
Yeah, so Godzilla is going to be an anime series on Netflix, and it's going to be coming out in about a week's time. What caught my eye, or at least what brought my attention to it, was that the voice acting for the lead heroine is Millie Bobby Brown, who is, we all know, as Eleven from Stranger Things. So I think she's a very talented actress, and I was curious to see. Well, I thought she was going to be in a live-action Godzilla movie, and then come to realize, okay, it was actually an anime. But if you watch it, it's got a really unique vibe. It's set 20,000 years in the future, and it looks pretty mature, I'd say. So this isn't like a man in a rubber suit type of Godzilla. It looks like they're really pulling out all the stops, and this could be a serious anime.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I saw it. You sent me the video. It was all in Japanese and no subtitles, but just from looking at the graphics and the actual action, it almost looked like Attack on Titans except futuristic. Did you get that feel, or did you watch Attack on Titan, Rob, at all?
I definitely got that vibe.
Okay, yeah, because I got that vibe, but I'm really curious on how they tell the story of how the, I guess spoilers, but it's all in the trailer, how the monsters overtake the Earth from the humans.
Spoilers.
It's not really. It's in there. You can see it.
I mean, I'm sure that's the setting is that.
The setting is that there's a space station now, and then basically that we're out of the Earth's overtaken. But I'm not sure if it's just by Godzilla or by all kaiju. Right?
Yeah, they showed other monsters, and definitely the kaiju aspect of it. I mean, you see something like Pacific Rim.
Maybe this is like the post-Pacific Rim universe.
Pretty much.
Pretty
post whatever. Godzilla's kind
we
of the
lost.
originator.
Yeah, Godzilla. I think it's really good. So did they say anything about how long the series is, or at least the first season or something, or just?
I didn't get that far into it. I was more interested in just the style of it.
Yeah, the style is great.
It's really fast paced. Really energetic. I'm really curious to see what it all looks like. So as it gets a little bit closer to release date, which is just in 9 days, we'll be able to start talking about it.
Nice.
But in other TV news, actually reviews, The Runaways just wrapped up their first season. The Runaways, I spoke on a little bit last week, but for those that don't know, it's a Marvel super team comprised of teenagers, some with powers, some without, and it's set in Los Angeles. So last time I had spoke about it, and I had really only watched maybe an episode or two, but since then I've binged and watched it all and watched the finale.
Was that a show that released weekly?
Yes.
So it wasn't like a Netflix series where everything comes out at once. It had a schedule.
Yeah, it was very unique in that way because it is a streaming-only show. It's only available on Hulu, but they released it every week. So you would have to tune in or start watching after, I think it was Tuesdays most weeks. What I really enjoyed about it was that the people felt very real, and I thought it brought a little bit more of a voice to these people that are part of a group. It's not all rah beat people up. It was more about surviving or dealing with societal pressures, or your parents are being jerks to you. How do you as a superpowered individual handle yourself? So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I felt like the season started off really strong and maybe kind of tapered as it went on, so I was a little disappointed by the ending. But overall, I think it's a really strong series. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. And while that may not sound really great, I think 7's still upper level for most.
I mean, that's definitely above average.
I would say so. I'm hopeful to see, improvement next year or next season. But it's got some really, cool aspects. And one of the ways that you can watch this and maybe get a little bit more enjoyment out of it is it's kind of a social commentary on kids today dealing with the generation before them. So the generation before them, their parents are telling them, well, we're doing these things because, we love you and we want to protect you. And in the same beat, they're punching the kids with like super powered gloves, or they're conspiring to take away their ability to kind of fight for themselves and everything. So it's really a unique twist on that kind of interaction. So you could certainly look at it as like coming of age and generational gap type of issues.
Very cool. Just kind of last thing we'll talk about here, but Bill Nye Saves the World season 2 came out recently, and I've been watching through it a little bit. I've liked the show. It's kind of hit or miss. It's especially for the first season, but it's definitely not as good as his previous show, as everybody watched when they were younger. But it has some cool topics they talk about. Each episode's dedicated to a topic. It can be kind of cheesy at times, even though it's supposed to be more for mature audiences. It's kind of got the moments where you're like, okay, I'm skipping this. But overall, I would say it's 6 out of 10, just purely out of a lot of interesting topics. They don't go too in depth, and that's disappointing in my opinion, because I want to hear more about this stuff. But it's a good way to get introduced to a lot of hot topics going on right now.
Yeah, I watched the first season, and I would say it was really uneven, start to finish. So you would get some episodes, you're like, oh, this is really incredible and really insightful, and I'm getting a lot of, I'm learning a lot from here. And then they would get into a little bit more political aspects of climate change and, they would have people on with alternative medicine ideas, like, healing with crystals and whatnot, and kind of just ridicule them. It seemed a little mean-spirited, but depending upon your beliefs, you might feel a little bit under attack by watching this show.
It can be that way sometimes.
Somewhat similar to the Cosmos series that came out with
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, there we go. I was about to say Mike Tyson.
I'd watch that show.
I would certainly
watch
the
that
Cosmos.
show.
The Cosmos. I don't know.
So depending upon your beliefs, or maybe what the your views on science, you might feel a little excluded there. But overall, I think it's a good show, and I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I'll be looking into it.
Does this show have the music videos at the very end?
I mean, there was an episode with, I don't know if it has a music video, but they did have a music number that was kind of very, very awful.
I just remember the very cringy original Bill Nye. But hey, it got the point through with osmosis or some rap about something random. So yeah.
I think those.
So if you're looking for like a kind of just like a light, just kind of see what things are going on right now, it's a good watch. You're not going to get too in depth. You're not going to learn everything you need to know about a topic, but you're going to get the 30-minute bullet point of the stuff. So,
wait, Brendan, you're not going to talk about this awesome point, Jumanji? You're not going to talk about Jumanji?
I haven't seen it yet. That was for Jared.
Oh,
I should have scratched that out.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking forward to that because
wait till next week. I have heard though,
okay,
that it is extremely hilarious.
Nice.
And will have you in tears. But I have not seen it, so I don't know. This is all coming from Jared. So I'll make him talk about it next week.
Remember, he liked The Last Jedi too, just like you did.
Meh.
You did too, though, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm an apologist. I like The Last Jedi.
But that'll be all the time we have this week. So we'll go ahead and start saying our goodbyes with. We'll start with Rob this week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, guys. Having a lot of fun doing this.
You're kind of like a regular now, so
yeah. Well, we'll make it official now. Yeah, so you guys are stuck with me.
And I mean, unless you're like Jared and just miss some days, but you're pretty much a regular.
Yeah, I need to take a sick day next week.
It's your birthday.
Well, now that I got benefits,
week after
I've rolled
week.
over to full-time employee, so I can start missing work. So anyway, I'll wrap up real quick. You can catch me as Froham on Blizzard apps, playing some Destiny from time to time. You can catch me as Fro on Xbox Live. So I am good to go there. Pass it on.
Cool. Andrew, go.
We need your information on there on the website, Rob, because the website everyone should go to for all the information regarding either our podcasts or clans, which would be Wrath Incarnate, and of course the Guild of the Bad Mama Jammas. And I think we're thinking of going into the realm of Monster Hunter World soon, that community, so we might be recruiting for that. We're still working on that. We want more community, more RPG, and then when Borderlands 3 comes out, that'll be there too. But for information regarding me and my battle tags or anything like that, you can go to pixelpubgaming.com, go to the crew page, and then you have my information there. You have all of our information there. Of course, the front page, you can listen to the latest podcast as well. pixelpubgaming.com. Yeah, go visit it.
Cool. As always, I'm Abop, A-B-O-P. Check out the website, like Andrew said, pixelpubgaming.com. You'll find all of previous episodes of the podcast and the newest episode. Or check out SoundCloud, iTunes, Pocket Casts, all those things. This is coming to you on every front. So share it. Email us at WTNpodcast@yahoo.com or hit us up on Discord because we're all there. Then you let us know how we're doing. Maybe we'll have a little area for podcast stuff on the PixelPub Discord here soon.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll love also. I would love to do like a mailbag.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Be cool. Yeah. Maybe we need a channel for that.
Yeah,
or something. I don't know.
We'll
But
see.
That's all the time I have this week. So see you guys later.
Bye.
See ya.
Okie dokie.